Yo, what a fight. Oh my God. Right? Like, look, this was the trilogy fight, right? This was a trilogy fight. But Poirier won the first two. You know what I mean? But it's different. It's a lightweight proper this time, right? And the last one was lightweight. But Max, he wasn't a real lightweight at the time. But now we have seen what he can do. He's also the BMF champion. So there was a lot of stuff coming into this. And the biggest, Dustin the Diamond Poirier's final fight in the UFC. So there is anticipation. There is promise. It doesn't always mean the end product will be great. Doesn't always mean that. I mean, the co-main event, it was decent. It was a decent fight, but it wasn't quite what we expected. You know what I mean? So what was this one going to be? What was the main event going to be? Man, it was a fucking war. That's what it was. That's what it was. This was the fight. This was everything. You know? Like, Dustin started well. And then Max got into his groove. Man, it's just, the speed is crazy. Right? Even lightweight, he is fast. So you have the speed. But then, right? It's those attacks to the body. It's the kicks. It's the punches. It's the combinations. It's the way he puts everything together. The slip-aways. All of this. And he put Dustin down. Now, what was crazy was at the end, right, when they showed all the stats, it was one knockdown apiece. Max put Dustin down twice in the first round. So it was, yeah, it's a bit weird sometimes with some of these stats. Because you look at them and you go, yo, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was a big, Max putting Dustin down twice. And then it's the ground and pound and the way he just was on it, you know? So that was huge. I mean, he hurt Dustin again in the second round, right? Hurt him again in the second. Now, Dustin hurt Max at the end of the second, put him down at the end of the second round, right? But when you break it down, when you look at it all, I kind of felt Max had done more. He had still done more. Now, Dustin ended the better, but Max did more up to that point. So I gave Max the first two rounds, but Dustin was never out of it. And I think that was a big thing about this fight, right? There's a lot of times people have their final fight. You know, it's not always announced, but sometimes it's announced, right? They're having their final fight, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm glad they're going, right? Because you've started to see the decline. You've started to see that they can't take a punch, right? You've seen all of these signs. And this fight, you know what I mean? As I said, Max won the first two, but Dustin was there. And the way he ended the second round. And with this fight, Dustin wasn't in that place where you're like, I don't think he should take this fight, right? Dustin was a live dog all the way. Like, many people thought he would win this fight, right? Dustin always had an opportunity to win this fight. It wasn't like, yo, he got blown out the water, right? It wasn't like up to this point he's been knocked out so many times. No. And he showed it. He showed it with the way he attacked, the way he came forward. And that Dustin Poirier swear, you know, that little sly little, grin he'll put on his face, and you know what I mean, he'll say a few little things, like even when it's just like, yo, nice shot. It's still with that, but that's the only one you're getting, right? He still has that little tone. He still has that little thing about him. And the crazy thing, Max landed, when you saw how many punches Max landed to the face, right, to the head, a lot more than Dustin landed. But Dustin, it's very rare that he looks battered, that he looks messed up. And so he left the fight looking good still, right? Looking good still, right? So, man, this... like the third round, man, I think I gave the third round to Dustin, but it was close, right? Everything was close. Everything was close, right? I think the fourth round, I thought Max took it. Or I think, no. Max, for me, Max just edged out the third round, right? Dustin definitely did a lot better in the third round, right? And you thought, oh, Dustin might start, pulling away after the way he ended the second. But then I thought Max came back into that round. It's the combinations. It's just, the attacking the body. It's the kicks, all of this. You know what I mean? So I thought Max came back and just took that third. But I thought Dustin took the fourth. Right? I thought Dustin took the fourth. And so, and again, very close. Very close. Because there's times Max is landing a lot of shots and then Dustin would land a big shot. Right? And you just think, maybe that one showed more to the judges. It's hard to tell, right? But in that fifth round, that fifth round was tight, man. It was very close. I was edging towards Max, but then we get the last 10 seconds. The last 10 seconds. And it's funny because, it's that thing that Max said, right? I think the Ilya fight, and Ilya was just like, oh, I wonder if he's going to do that 10-second thing to me. And Max just was just like, yo, you ain't deserved it yet. You ain't earned it, right? It's not something that you do with anyone, right? This is legends only. So this is going to go down with Dustin, right? And he did it. And something else, man. Like the way Max then just put together combinations, right? Put together combinations and was really turned it up a notch still. And it was a fast-paced fight, but he turned it up a notch still. You know what I mean? And Dustin had to clinch. Right, you could see, oh, he's hurt Dustin, right? Dustin had to clinch because if you're standing, hey, you might go down, right? And you can't go down in the last 10 because then you're definitely giving the round away. So he had to clinch, but that was it. That was Max's round, right? So, what the final scores for this one, it was 48-47, 49-46 twice. And yeah, I'd say that's fair, right? I'd say that's fair. I thought Max was really good. Max was really fucking good. And what was just something was at the end, right? Max didn't really take any mic time. You know what I mean? Just called out to Poirier. Said his thing, said his thanks, and then handed it over to Dustin. It's like, it's your night. You do you. And then, right, the crowd weren't making enough noise. So he's just like, what the fuck? Come on, New Orleans. Make some noise for your boy. So, man, you have to give it up to Max. Max is something else. And damn, it was good to see. Like the video they put together, just everything. Poirier got his flowers, man. And he went out. And that's the thing, what DC said, right? It was perfect because, like you said, you don't always go out with a victory, but you can always go out with class. And Poirier went out like a diamond, man. He went out with straight class. And that was just a perfect thing to see. So this was the fight we hoped for, wished for, and goddamn, these motherfuckers delivered the BMF way. You know what I mean? So, Max Holloway goes out the champ, but Dustin Poirier goes out shining. What a fight, people. What a